Just vibe, just vibe. What's going on, family? Back at it with Verified Vibe. And today, we're switching it up. I usually have my other two co-stars here today, but we're switching it up with two strong black men. I'll let them introduce themselves. What's going on, Zach? How you doing?
What's good, bro? How you living?
Hey, man, I'm great. I'm glad you can be here. Fortunate to have you, a bright star on my show. And, man, just give us a little something to talk about today.
All right, what's good, folks? So my name's Zach, as my bro just now said. Y'all can find me on IG at the Black Academic, which is like DA. Somebody else had the, so just go ahead and put the for the culture. It's vibes
For the culture.
So, but I'm an educator. I'm an organizer. I'm a writer. On top of that, I got a book club going on. We actually meeting up today. It's called Unlocked because we're trying to unlock the mental. So,
Right.
I'm kind of working with the vibes of my bro here where we all doing things to uplift the culture.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's what we on right now.
Yes, sir. And to the left of me, my boy Justin. How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing good. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm great. I'm glad you could come visit us today, too. Just give us a little spiel about yourself right quick.
My name's Justin. My Instagram is @IamSpreadTheWord. And pretty much, man, I just preach everybody to just become the best version of themselves. We all go through highs and lows in life. We all go through different obstacles, but don't let that hold you back from you becoming the best version of yourself.
Facts. I love that. I know that's one of your favorite things to say, but I had to take it from you because I love that, and that's genuine. So really, like I said, we just vibing it out today, fellas. Today's episode is just really going to be a little different than the usual because we're just black men talking about everyday topics, and we're just here to be vulnerable today and, just really say how we feel and what's on our minds. And so I just want to open up the floor by really asking y'all, as black men, how y'all doing? Like, how y'all surviving out here today, man?
All right, so this is actually a question I like to ask every now and then, but I got to do a better job at, checking in on some other brothers out here.
Right.
But just with everyday activity, like being in this, for myself, I like to call this a plantation. I ain't even gonna lie.
Plantation, okay.
Yeah. Being here in the U.S., man, we still in another plantation where you getting hit with stuff every day. Like just the black family in general.
Yeah.
But as black men, like it seems like you hop on Twitter, people N-words ain't, I don't know if we can cuss on
Man,
here
hey,
or not,
look,
but
we vibing, bro. Just talk.
all right, so N-words ain't poo, you know what I'm saying? You get hit with that, but then at the same time, we bringing that right back on our sisters and whatnot. So it's like that's a mental hit right there. Then you got you worrying about like I don't like having the feeling of like blue lights making me feel inferior, less than.
Yeah.
So in my mind, like if I see a blue light, then it's like oh, like dang, okay. And then when I realize it ain't even for me, I'm like, dang, bro, why I feel like that? Like, hold on, now, like, I'm a man. Like, hold on.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't feel that way about no other person when they drive by. And then at the same time, then you got, like, propaganda on TV. People always trying to pull you this way, that way. And, then you got distrust within the community. So you never know, like, somebody trying to put you on game or somebody trying to pull you for something for their personal benefit or whatnot. So there's so much out here. Yeah, that's, like, a good question to start off with it.
Man.
I feel like I'm good.
With all that, I feel like I'm good.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just keeping my mind cognizant on it all.
Definitely. Man, you had a good spill there. And I mean, I definitely vibe with you on all of that. I feel that 100%. Especially even when you were talking about the part with the police. Like, man, I'm not even doing something. I feel like I'm being violated. What about you, JD?
I feel just the same way as y'all do as far as in our community. And, I just do my best to stay low, stay out the way, and just, focus on myself because, it's a lot of noise out here. And sometimes even you can't, like, get away from the noise. Sometimes it comes towards you. So you could be, innocent, not doing anything wrong. And, you could be approached and you could be approached in a negative way. So I just do my best. Like, what I'm working on now is just my breathing. Like, when I notice that my breathing changes, that means that my mood has changed. So I'm doing my best just to stay focused, stay on track, and just, if I know I'm doing the right thing for the right reason and if something happens, then that means it was just destiny. So I just do my best just to stay out the way, stay low key, and just do what I got to do to keep moving forward in life. But, yeah, man, it's a lot. It's crazy out here in the world when you really get into it.
Man.
You meditate?
Yeah, I do meditate.
Man.
It's not as consistent as it could be, but at least once a day, man.
Yeah, you got to. When you said breathing, man, you know what breath translates to when it's talking about, like, Kemet, Egypt, and Greek?
No, I don't.
It's breath equals spirit.
Wow.
So when you focusing on your when you just now said, you know, if I know my breath changed and my mood changed, that's your spirit being moved some type of way. So whenever you feeling that, man, like always be in tune with that, because that's your intuition, your intuition, your feelings.
Yeah.
Like it's a universal language. So that's God talking to you.
Right.
That's a form, not just one way, because God talks to us in many different ways. But that's like one of those forms that God's talking to you. Like, where exactly is your spirit being moved? So you being cognizant of that, man, you already on something that many people ain't even realizing.
Thank you, man. I just do a lot of listening, man, and I just try to pick up gems here and there, just incorporating into my life. You know, you can't take in too much information at one time, but even a sentence, something could just change your life, man. So I appreciate that. I really didn't know that.
No doubt.
Man, that was something spectacular there, you know. And I feel like even with the meditation, you know, I go by learn to listen and listen to learn. And I feel like a part of it is being obedient within yourself, like knowing this is what's making me feel this way. And I feel like as men, the world tries to teach us to detach our feelings. And I feel like personally, that is a weakness. Like when you telling me not to feel a certain way about something that's natural, you know what I'm saying? Like the vibe that I get that they try to force on men is anger, you know, inner toughness. You know, they try to, you know, I don't want to use the word masculine in that word, because masculine is good. And honestly, I feel like the world has took the word masculine and made it seem like it's such a bad thing. But like, you know, you hear toxic masculinity a lot. And I'm going to save that for a little bit. But when we don't know how to control how we feel, I feel like you're lost. You're always playing catch up, because I feel like that is the inner turmoil that's hurting you, that you don't know what's going on because you're not taught how to appreciate the feelings. You're not taught to appreciate the highs and lows of things. You know what I mean? So I'm glad both of y'all brought up that topic. Really, let me ask y'all, how does the world does the world have an influence on how y'all view yourselves?
Oh, definitely.
Really? Okay.
Definitely.
Elaborate. One of y'all elaborate for me right quick.
Because, so fitness and everything, right? Man, when I was growing up, you know, when you're young, you don't necessarily, nobody's touched your garden yet as much as you do when you get older.
All right.
So when some people start pushing you out of your Garden of Eden, and you start realizing those influence of others. So up until maybe middle school, I didn't realize I was getting chubby.
Hey, middle school do it to you.
Yeah. Then I started thinking, I was like, wait, all the girls like all the athletes. Hold on now. So then, you know, all through, middle school, I'm sitting there fighting and getting away from my chubby and trying to get back to my athletic self as I was naturally as a kid. But then high school comes, that's all I'm thinking about, sports. Because I'm like, oh, that's going to bring girls in. You know, like, then I got away from baseball. Man, I looked at your page, man, when we caught back up, and I was like, man, I should have stayed in baseball.
But hey, look, all of us have played baseball here at the table.
True.
Black men, stay in baseball.
Please
they
do.
need us.
Yeah,
that's
that's
where
true.
the money is at. Black men go back to baseball. If I can make it a campaign, I would. I stand behind that. But my bad. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good. But that's the thing, because I went straight into basketball. I was getting taller, so people were like, go to basketball, you know, the typical thing. And then you are getting up, graduating from high school, college, and again, you know, like we know deep down inside, I feel like men know everything. At least 50% of what we do is dependent on women.
Yep, I agree. I'll agree.
And for me, I personally went down a rabbit hole, like nothing but fitness, like super strict, like checking my weight every single day. And that's the exact thing they say not to do. I went my fitness pal, putting in every single little thing. Like, I need to know exactly, am I at 2,200 calories? Dang, am I at 2,250? Down, I ate too much. So like that put me down, as though even though physically I was elevating, mentally I was descending. You know, so for me, when it comes down to when you talk about influence from society, man, that definitely got me, because I was like, dang, I gotta look a certain way, I gotta be a certain way, I gotta act a certain way, and in reality, I'm just being influenced by people that don't even care about me, people that just trying to make money at the end of the day.
Dang, that's another way to look at it. Justin, I know with fitness being a big part of what you do, how do you keep it a consistent part of your everyday life and still find the will to, you know, continue to keep it going, but not just over consume you, if you understand what I'm saying?
That's a great question. I mean, I just really have made it just a true habit of mine. And I just feel like, you know, the mind is connected to the body, and the body's connected to the mind, but the mind really controls the body. So I just feel like, kind of like David Goggins says, like you have a when you believe that you reached your limit, you've only reached 40% of your capabilities. So like say like there's a speed limit and it says you can't go past 40. So in our mind, when we're working out, when we're doing any type of habit, any type of exercise, any type of anything that's slowing us down, or we feel like we're giving up, we've only reached 40% of our capabilities. So if you have that mindset towards anything that you do, you can go a lot further. So I use that for as far as fitness, like my body getting tired when I think I'm done, I still got more. So I just use it as a mountain, like Zach just said, like when I was in same story basically, like in middle school, high school, chubby, you know what I'm saying? It just happened. Even in college, it just got worse and worse and worse. Like it's so easy just to not pay attention to the nutrients and just eat. And realistically, the healthy food tastes just about as good as the other food. You know what I mean? Like sugar-free ain't no different than a regular drink. You know what I mean? Like sugar-free barbecue sauce, sugar-free ketchup is the same thing as regular barbecue sauce, regular ketchup. You know what I mean? So it's just the little bitty things, but I just made it a habit. And I just pretty much like have made like a mountain full of goals. So like say as far as like if you're climbing a mountain, like each step is a micro goal that you're making progress towards your macro growth. So as soon as I finish this one mountain, I have to move on to a higher mountain because I feel like in life, like most people really get comfortable with where they are right now. Like whether it's, you know, spiritually, mentally, financially, physically, all of the above, most people really get comfortable, and that's because they've achieved their goals and they got comfortable. But you have to set a higher mountain because you can always achieve more and more and more. And it's just that, like, I believe that the meaning of life is that it's not like I'm like chasing, you know, money or I'm chasing followers or anything like that. It's just as far as that I know that I can experience more out of the life that I'm experiencing right now. Like this is not the happiest that I can be. You know, this is not the best experiences that I can experience. My body is not in the best shape that it can. It's the best it's ever been right now, but I know it can be better. You know, I can be more consistent. I could be more disciplined. I could take more action. And I just know there's more to life. So I just use that in every which way that I can in every area, whether it's reading books, whether it's listening, whether it's working out, whether it's goals, whether it's financial. I just know there's more to it. So that's why I just keep going and never give up.
Dang, bro. That's what's up, man. That's solid. Man, let me touch on something that I know both of y'all specialize in, and I gotta say it like this. Since we vibing, I'm gonna just keep it plain and simple. Niggas don't read, okay? Niggas don't read. And I hate saying that. I hate just hearing that come out of my mouth just made me go, ugh. But why is it in the black community especially, what is it about reading that people went to such extremes to learn how to read, such extremes to learn how to write, that y'all feel like our culture, because I mean, okay, if I look at both of y'all in this room, that's an example of an outlier, an anomaly. And I feel like, you know, people love to talk about the anomalies, but instead of actuality and the real numbers of what happened, I know both of y'all read, but why do y'all feel like our culture almost disses reading or just has thrown reading to the side the way it does?
I believe because it's difficult. You know, it's not easy. Like it's easier to watch a TV show. It's easier to watch a music video. It's easier just to go hang out than actually sit down, be disciplined, and read a book. And I was one of those kids. Like I think I had stopped reading when it came back to like 5th grade, like North Fayette, like when you had like the book challenge and used to go to the book fair and pick out books. And those was the last time I read. I didn't read all middle school. Nah. I didn't read all high school. When it came to taking tests based off the readings, I just, skimmed through it just to get through it. And I actually didn't start reading until like, I think beginning in college. And even at that point, I'm like, man, I'm done reading. And then once I started my journey, then that's when I figured out like how powerful reading is because they put all the information in the books because they know that people are not going to read the books. And most of the information that I have learned up to this standpoint has been through a book. And then you also have to look at it like this. Like I learned that like the person who wrote the book, they're basically telling you their journey to where they got where they at. And basically you're taking 10 years, 20 years worth of information and you're putting into a 150-page book. And there's no limit on how many books you can read. So you can read decades of information within a week, 2 weeks, a month, and you could be so much farther ahead because you learned their entire journey in a week. So when you think about how fast you're accelerating your growth and your learning, it's unlimited, but it just takes that discipline to sit down and actually read that book. So
definitely. How about you, Zach? How do you feel about it?
All right, so you said the discipline part right there, man. That is the key of it all. Cause like I said, I got a book club. So just to put shameless plug, follow us at Unlock TBC. TBC stands for the book club, but it also is the Black curriculum. Cause what we actually focusing on is us. But that old fashioned that quote where they said you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. They always have it was like an old parable of where somebody robbed somebody's house, but all the money was actually inside of their books. Like the cash was in the book, so they robbed the house, and it was everything. They got everything but the actual money because it was in the books. So it's like a twofold thing where you have, again, you just now said, like value. You got somebody's whole life in a 150-page, but where you got the principles of that in a book. So now you got value out of a book. But then they also had monetary value in the book. Right. So now in that whole little parable, that story, like you just now missed out on the knowledge, but you missed out on the money. And overall, like when we talking, there's so many different books out there you can accumulate. Now we are in 2021, 2020. Everybody talking about financial wealth. Like how can you get this financial wealth? But at the same time, like as you saw with this whole GameStop thing lately, like that was a big move with a lot of people communally. That was it was basically just for money at the end of the day, just for money. It had no real purpose behind it at all. So for me, like I'm imagining, one, that was a communal act. Here we push capitalism so much. I don't know how y'all feel about capitalism, but I know it's not necessarily for us because originally we were the capital. Right. So therefore, in its root, it can't be for us. And that's a later conversation. Hey. But so now I'm talking about something communal. You got GameStop. Them folks basically came together collectively, communal, for money. Imagine if we do that and actually understand our situation ourselves with a purpose behind it. Again, Nia. So with a purpose behind it, with a mission, chasing our passions, not necessarily just chasing money, bringing our passions together. So it's really with love for one another and actually coming together. You read books like you just now said, you got all that information, those principles, those values in your head. Imagine every time we come up with another brother, we actually exchanging information so that we can move communally like they did with games. Like you don't got to do it on Reddit. It's a code. We already know. So then you actually start doing that together. Then like you can't do individual capitalism does not work. Do it communally, we can't, like you said, 40%. We probably not even touching 40% of what we can do. Right. So, like, imagine when we all together on these books, and actually bringing in all this knowledge collectively, like our ancestors collectively were, and it's in our principles and our values. So, like, that's my thing, man. If I can get some people to actually read a book. Man, I like that. and get away from, just documentaries and TV, and I'm going to cut it short. But like for instance, One Night in Miami, that movie, right? Okay. People might look at that as in like, oh, this is history. Like, oh, this is our story, something like that, right? But if you actually read Malcolm's autobiography, his family was down there with him in Miami. In One Night in Miami, he's calling back home. Within context, that's not something a warrior does. He was a warrior. Right. He's gonna take care of his family. We talking about manhood right here. You're gonna take care of your family. When you know there's threats out there for you, there's gotta be threats for your family too. So like he's not about to have them a backup back home. They're gonna be in Miami with him. In the book, they were in Miami with him. Right. So now you putting an image out there that I got my family miles away that I can't protect them, but in reality, I had them with me the whole time, and that's actually a subliminal message right there. Like we don't do that. You take care of yours.
It's deep.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, take care of yours. That's real, and that can go so far. But let me ask y'all this, right? So while we're on the topic, the word toxic masculinity, right? When I say that, what comes to y'all's mind? Like, how does that word make y'all feel? Because being in the day and age that we live in, we have social media. And to me personally, I feel like I see the word toxic masculinity thrown around so much. So when y'all see it, what does that mean, or how does that make y'all feel?
Last year, I got a little in trouble because I said on my Twitter, I was like, yo, toxic masculinity, yeah, we understand it. We get it. But I was like, when you learn balance and reciprocity, everything's on a spectrum. Everybody talks about love, but it's on a spectrum with hate. When you talk about truth, it's on a spectrum with lies. You can't have one without the other. So therefore, I'm saying, I was on my Twitter basically saying I barely hear anything about toxic femininity. Right. And I don't want to get into that. I was saying, therefore, we must really have a toxic humanity problem. And next thing you know, I'm rereading the Miseducation of the Negro.
Right.
So he's talking about like highly educated Negroes. You know, we don't use that term anymore, but he's talking about like talented tenth.
Yeah.
And how they try to come back with their people, but they can't really connect. And now in my opinion, when I was getting attacked, I had some highly educated Negroes sitting there trying to hit me with these new liberal terms. And I was like, you can't have that. It doesn't exist, and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, look, we human at the end of the day. Like, I can only, whatever I've manifested and created, I got it from somewhere. I was birthed from a woman. Like, it came from some unit, something cultivated this. So at the end of the day, we have a humanity problem, and for me, that's what I was trying to get to, and people got so stuck on that toxic femininity term that I use, and I was like, bro, y'all missing my entire point.
Yeah.
But I feel like we just gotta, we don't have a culture that's really ours at the end of the day, and that's really what it is. I don't think it's like toxic masculinity. That's just like a liberal term that's confusion, bro. Like at the end of the day, we just need to come together and unify at the end of the day and actually talk like this,
Right?
So we can work it out.
Facts. What about you, JD? How you feel about it, Justin?
I think like basically what both of y'all said as far as like coming together and really handling the problems, because I mean I really don't know too much in detail, you know, about the topic, but from what I see is that like, you know, it's a lot of like, you know, point the finger, it's a lot of cause and effect, when really like, you know, it's a reason it happened. It's like I don't even know the words to really even say to it though, but it's like, you know, the energy is released based off the energies that's put in. You know what I mean? I'm only gonna act a certain way because the situation gave me a reason to act that way. So It's a mix of both. As far as what y'all both said about y'all coming together and we both handling the problems and, you know, moving on from it though. But I definitely think it's something that's been like, you know, overused.
Right.
I ain't saying it don't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like, yo, like you said cause and effect. Let's look at the actual root of this. Like let's not just sit here and do what our oppressors do and only look at the effect and blame it on the effect.
Yeah.
You know, let's actually look at what the cause is of this, so we can actually, you know, solve it.
Right. And that's what it's important that you said that, because I feel like it's really from a lack of problem solving. You know, like to me personally, I feel like the word and the term gets thrown around so much because it's a lack of actual masculinity going around right now. And I feel like that is mainly because we don't hold each other accountable. Like, I feel like as men, we have to do a better job as holding each other accountable, because if I see my brother slacking, why would I just let him continue? If I really say I love him, if I really say, bro, I rock with you, if I really say all these things, why would I let you just go down this rabbit hole? Why would I just continue to let you keep doing wrong? Because in the end, it's hurting me as well.
Yeah.
You know, it might not seem like, oh, tomorrow because of this action you did, I'm going to feel it. But in some type of way, it still connects back to me because we're all connected.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? When they see you, they see me. When they see you, they see me too. You know, it's as men, we get categorized together. As black men, especially, you know, we get thrown into an even smaller box. So the way you handle yourself, the way you carry yourself in society is how a stranger on the outside, they might view me in that same way. So I feel like a lot of it is just a lack of, you know, accountability. And that's what I try to push with my brothers, you know, by living my best self. I'm not saying that I'm perfect by any means, but I'm trying to better myself to where the way I handle myself and the way that I maneuver is, you know, if almost to where it just rubs off on somebody else. Like all of us in here are positive black men. We're full of charisma. And that's why I brought both of y'all on here, because I just wanted to show the world on a larger scale we can get together like this and vibe and just talk, you know, and just, you know, we don't always have to be guarded. I feel like we're so guarded. So I feel like vulnerability is something that we don't know how to handle it correctly. You know, I feel like some topics people be like, oh man, you shouldn't talk about that. What are some topics that y'all felt like are touchy in the black community, especially with men? If y'all had to say something.
Put me on something touchy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Like, what do you think is a topic that we either stray away from or something that like really grinds our gears, you know? Do y'all have anything in specific y'all feel like?
Man, if you would have asked me some years ago, possibly. But I've been personally trying to keep my equilibrium away from the things.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
It's hard in my mind. Like I kind of, dang.
Nah, it's no pressure on it. Anything you gotta say about JD?
And what was the question again?
Like the top, like anything that makes like the touchy topics in the black community, like for black men, for us to talk about. Like,
I feel like we get touchy on things that we shouldn't get touchy on. Like sometimes I feel like, for instance, if I criticize another man on how they be acting in a certain way, and I'm like, I know for instance, this is not something beneficial to us as a collective.
right?
Like you dogging a woman, and I want to talk to you about it. Like, or some other man dogging a woman or something like that. And I've noticed men will defend men harder than they will a woman. And I'm like, bro, why are you defending this man so hard? Why are you like, again, accountability, like that right there? I feel like sometimes, and this may be a different turn on the word touchy, but I feel like that's something that's touchy because I'm like, why exactly are you defending this man so hard? Are you seeing yourself in him?
Yeah.
Or like, is this someone you really actually look up? Like, why are you idolizing this person? Like, what exactly is it that you don't want to actually admit? Like, yo, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't like. That's one thing that I've noticed just recently. I don't know if it's. Damn, I'm trying to think of something else touchy. Nah.
I would call that false idols. Like in a way, because I feel like we look up to the wrong people. Like that's one of the things I feel like it's a little bit of a touchy topic because we don't really want to, you know, how can I say it? Just be like a island by yourself. But I feel like one of the topics that we don't really talk about that we should is I feel like we only look up to generalized people, athletes. You know what I'm saying? We look up to the rappers, you know, before like if you ask an average black man to name 5 black scientists for $1,000, do you think that's not George Washington Carver like that are alive? Do you think
lost my 1,000?
You feel me?
I can't do it.
You know what I'm saying? But you ask somebody name 5 rappers, they got you like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a problem in a way. You know, ask them to name 5 politicians, but everybody, oh, I vote. I put my vote in. Well, shoot, name how many senators are there? Do you know the 3 branches of government? You know, like I feel like those are important questions that we are afraid to check each other on because everybody has a mouth. Everybody has a Twitter. Everybody has social media. So everybody always feels like like I have something to say. I feel like validation is at an all-time high. Like so many people want to be validated by what they have to say because I feel like everybody wants to have something like, oh, I have this of importance to contribute, or I want to say this, but how much research have you done? Like how much time have you put into a topic, you know, to master something? I've heard that you have to put in over 10,000 hours to master something. So I feel like
you
it's
put 10,000 in nothing yet.
Yeah, and nothing. You know what I'm saying?
But running your mouth.
It's my man. Okay, you get your cardio by pushing your luck. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I see it. But I feel like, man, we look up to the wrong people, and I feel like I want my people to be better. So I feel like we need to find the real role models in the community. Like that's one of the things. Like I know, man, you put the term into my my mind, not village building, but
nation building.
Nation building. Yeah. Nation building. I feel like that I've been like since you brought the term to my attention, I've been kind of doing my own little research on it. But I feel like nation building is something that we've lost touch with. You know what I'm saying? I feel like taking people under your wing and being not a mentor, but a jagger, right?
Jagna, yes, sir.
How you say it?
Jagna.
Jagna, is the correct term because so many people have been used as mentors, but I don't know about y'all personally, but I know a lot of people will take that role and abuse it. Right. So I feel like it's also important for us to be influenced by the right people, but also those people in those positions be righteous within themselves. So, you know, that's just my take on it, y'all. I know I started going in on it.
Now you made me appreciate these conversations. Man, that's stuck in your head. You said we ain't talking about that in a minute.
Yeah, bro. But so you know, sometimes, yeah, man, sometimes things just stick, you know. But let me ask y'all about personal development. When I say personal development, how does that equivocate within y'all's lives?
It's crucial. Like, cause for me, if your mind is first, right? Like the man equals mind. Like, that's something one of my jugglers always says. So originally, if y'all look it up, man originally equals mind.
Okay.
Again, as we mentioned earlier, spirit equals breath. This is something I put on my story, but I was like, so you put man and breath together, you got conscious spirit. I need that to be constantly developing. Because if I'm not like we know the only thing constant about life is that it continuously changes. And another word for change is revolution. So you always have to, you gotta create like a revolutionary culture within yourself because like I don't know, like for me personally, I've had both my grandfathers with dementia. They did the same things every single day. It wasn't necessarily like they were really expanding their mind anymore. And like you said, mind controls the body, So I'm also trying to touch into that spirit too, because spirit controls the mind and body. And for me, if I'm not constantly moving and elevating that, I'm basically dead. Like if I'm not thinking anymore, like if I'm just watching TV all the time and I'm not having to use my brain, I'm dead.
Right.
Like what exactly am I doing now? Now I'm just being programmed, propaganda. So like for me, it's so crucial. And as you said, we are reflections of one another. So accountability, that's Ubuntu. Like I am because we are. A person is a person because of the tribe. So my personal development is so crucial because that's also my family's development, my community's development, my nation's development. So it's essential, man. If you ain't on some personal development, I'm looking at you kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? What is your purpose? Like you're killing us. It's suicide at that point because if you dead, then that's suicide.
Right. And I feel like I know a lot of people who are in the same steps. They've never grown. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people that are, walking around 50 years old, but they died at 25. Their dreams died. One of my previous jobs is I used to work in one of these warehouses. I know warehouse jobs are really popular now, but one of my friends, my coworkers within the place, he's like, man, you got to get out of here because dreams die in the warehouse. And I feel like a lot of people work these jobs and we're all told to go to school, go get a job. But a lot of people, their dreams die. We all, life changes, yes, and adjustments happen. But I feel like what happens is many people lose themselves trying to go through the process. Like everybody, they say trust the process, but a lot of people get lost in the process. They don't really give themselves a chance. And before you really give yourself a chance, you done killed yourself off because you fell into a system that wasn't really even designed for you. It was designed for, maybe our grandparents, but now there's no pensions going around. Right. You know what I'm saying? So if you haven't developed yourself, you don't have more skills. You're just stuck. And like you mentioned with the television, I really break it down as the word television. Like it's selling you a dream. It's telling you a vision. Television, propaganda. This is how I want you to think. This is how I want you to see. Even when they put things on shows, they do it subliminally. When they take the black girl, they make her loud. They make her, and we laugh. We see it as funny. But people who don't really know black people, they look at it and see like, oh, this is how much, black people must really be. Like even with the Gorilla Girl, like I know y'all seen that, but a lot of people like the Gorilla Glue Girl, right? A lot of people are seeing that story go crazy, but if you like no shade to her, like no disappointment on her end, if you see her, you'll see that, oh, she has all these, I don't want to call them abnormal, but her eyelashes are extremely long. She's wearing contacts. She did something that's really crazy with people like, yeah, this is how black people must, how they must think, but that's not us, But what we've done is we've took that situation and just blown it up. It's so many more important things that's been going on in that little bit of time. It's so many more people who are influential to our culture, but we've let that influence. Like we've given that so much time. And I feel like energy is important too, because energy is also currency, in a way. You can't get time back, no matter how rich you are, no matter what you do in life, no matter how good or bad a person, you can't get time back. So I feel like it's also important what we put into our minds and also what we give our time to, you know what I'm saying? Just when I say development, what does that really mean to you? Like, how do you develop yourself? Because I see, like you said, you've matured and over time you just kind of have really come into yourself. And I know you have a lot more further to go, but I'm proud of you and how far you've come. So I just wanted to, as a black man, just give you both of y'all, y'all flowers and appreciation. But what does development mean for you?
I appreciate that.
For sure.
I definitely think that personal development is the new standard. And it's like, if you're not working on being personally developed, then you're basically operating on an old software program, just because like that's just the way society is. Like, we're living in a skill-based, idea-based economy. Like, what are your ideas? What are your skills? What are your habits? Like, what are you doing on a consistent basis? Because not to say that there's a gap between the rich and the poor, but there's a gap between you being successful in your own standards and you not being successful, or you being average. So, I mean, the average pool is almost coming down to the poor pool. And it's not comparing classes. It's just as far as it's like, what are your passions? What are your dreams? What are your goals? What do you want to do with your life? Because like you guys said before, like, time is passing at an extremely high rate. Like, if you look at the calendar right now, like, February is almost over. It's about to be March. And at that point, that means that we're 2 months into the new year. So what have you done over these 2 months to progress towards your goals for 2021? So I just think it's very important to be personally developed, like sharpening every skill, you know what I'm saying? Figuring out what are your insecurities, face your insecurities, and turn your passions and turn your gifts and turn those into businesses. You know what I mean? Even if it's a nonprofit, you know what I mean? And as far as is that, even if you are working a job, or even if you are working like a 9 to 5, you know what I mean, you can still build your business, but it takes you to be disciplined, it takes you to be consistent, to wake up before work to put in those hours, after work knowing that I can't come home and chill, I need to put in more hours. That could be social media, that could be real estate, that could be stocks, that could be book business. It's so many different things that you can do to get towards the life that you were born to live. So I just think it's very important to be personally developed, take it serious, work hard, and also reward yourself and treat yourself along the way. So that way that you appreciate the journey to where you're trying to go.
Hey man, that's heavy there, bro. I'm glad you broke it down like that. I mean, you said a lot, bro. Even just when you giving that spill, I feel like I've learned something. Well, definitely I don't learn a whole lot just talking to y'all, but like, that is really important. Like, that's the new standard. Like, I like how you put that out there.
Can I touch on that standard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We as a people set the standard globally.
Yeah.
Like, I need people to understand that.
Yes.
So, like, when you set that standard high, you're not just setting it for yourself. Like, people always follow. People are copycats. We have platforms where everybody's literally a follower. You have followers on Twitter, followers on Instagram, followers on Clubhouse now, followers.
That's true.
You are followers. So when you mentioned the Gorilla Glue girl, there was another person in another community, I ain't gonna say it specifically, but they tried to copy her.
Yeah, literally, I saw it.
And I was like, bro, are you stupid?
How long you got? 2 examples? You didn't believe it the first time?
And then they try to put the what is it when you try to GoFundMe? They're trying to get a GoFundMe, like trying to get a surgeon. Theirs didn't even look like they really actually put the Gorilla Glue in there. They're trying to get attention. Right. So yeah, I remember even when you're doing stupid stuff, you setting a standard.
Yeah.
So like, I like that you said that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, bro.
For sure, man. Let me ask y'all. This is 2021. A lot has changed. People say it's nothing new under the sun, but I have to disagree. And with one of those things I disagree with it on is relationships. Okay? How do y'all feel? And y'all don't have to talk about your own personal relationship if you don't want to, but just looking at the general census, where do y'all think relationships have come to now? Because it's just, man, it's like I talk about all the time. What I used to have to do, or, to go through for a relationship to get a girl's attention, or, get them to see this side of me, is so different now. How do y'all feel about relationships now? Just how social media affects them and everything.
Man, I honestly feel like, man, it's just false advertising. You know what I mean? I feel like it's fabricated. You know what I mean? It's like gummy bears. It's artificial. It's not what it make it seem to be. You know what I mean? Because like people just put on, like, different people try to look rich on social media, you know, but I feel like different people try to put on for their relationship on social media. Because, I mean, I feel like, the outside world, the external world, the virtual world should know, a little bit about your personal life, but they shouldn't know too much about your personal life. And are you putting your personal life out there so you can get external validation? Because I feel like I would rather be more internally happy than externally happy. So I feel like a lot of people, like, you can get on Facebook, you can see this, you can get on Instagram, you see this and all that. But behind the scenes, when you're not on this virtual world, are you truly happy? Like, are y'all truly happy together? Are y'all truly communicating? Like, are y'all arguing? Are y'all doing this all the 24/7? But, hey, we need to post a picture. Hey, we doing this, we doing that. And if you truly happy, I mean, you're going to show a little bit, but you're not going to show as much because it's not true happiness all of the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just feel like it has to be a balance between, you know, honestly being happy on social media and honestly being happy off of social media. But I feel like you have to work more on being happy off of social media than more on social media. So I just feel like a lot of people take all these pictures, do all these things, seeking that external, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like, if you honestly look at it, I'm not trying to go too far into details, but if you really look at it, like, you could be posting your business consistently on social media, and you may get, you know, 50 likes, 100 likes, 200 likes. But I bet you if you post, you know, a sonogram, you know, that you're having a baby, I bet you're going to get 500, 1,000 likes.
Yeah.
You post that you getting married, you're going to have even more likes. You know, wedding ring, marriage, just you're going to have more pictures. So it's like people, I want to say people support more of things that they're comfortable with. So people post more things they're comfortable with compared to posting what you're truly doing, what truly makes you happy. So I feel like it just comes down to having a balance. And a lot of people on social media, they know that this is going to get so much external support, they forget they're not internally happy. So I feel like that's what it comes down to, honestly.
Ooh, you
I like
said
what you said.
Yeah. Man, I mean, I never heard nobody break it down like that, but you broke it down and kept it real. Like,
That's just how I feel, honestly, though. So.
yeah, man. What about you, Zach? Where you think it's going, man?
I just want to say real quick, you made me think like y'all pimping y'all relationship.
Man, yeah.
Don't be pimping your child before it's even out the womb, dog. You are pimping. Like, again, that's not your culture. Even once you actually started going down the history of pimping too, like that is the lowest form of our manhood, I believe. Like we kind of got in. Shout out to UGK. I know like recipe Pimp C and everything, and the name and whatnot. I love y'all underground play. That's my anthem. But at the same time, like I ain't about to. I can't be pimping my people, or my relationship in that aspect. So for me, like I personally, I am that man. I used to. I'll say my faults, bro. I used to be posting everything.
Yeah. No, it's
like everything. Then when I actually got in a relationship and I started realizing like folks really just, you know, I don't want to put too much out there anymore. Like I do have ups and downs in my relationship. You know, you just need to see that I am in one. That's all you need to know. You know, what's understood don't need to be explained.
Exactly.
So like, and for me personally, I feel as though in my personal experience, other people, you know, got other experiences and whatnot, but for me, I've realized like there are women that do want to parade and have everything out there, but they're the ones that I've seen where it's like they want the man that you already know your value, you already know who you are, you know you the shit, you know what you are, you know you on your stuff, but at the same time, she's not trying to have you out there all the time, you know, like I feel like some people like that low-key man it's always about his business, it's just about his woman, about his family, about all that stuff, and still thriving, but not necessarily having to put everything out there. And for me, that's kind of where I am on that. Like, I just know I'm in it. I love you, baby. So if you see it, man, just know that.
Hey, my man with the shout out, smooth.
And I just feel like we need to just keep it communal in a sense, like actually getting away from the social media, like as you said, like actually getting back towards like talking with one another even on our relationships, because we got so many different ideas of what a relationship should be now based off of what you said, like propaganda, everything out there telling you what it should be.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, dang, like what it was. So what's up with you and your? How do y'all fix this problem? You know, like dang, we was arguing over this, man. Can I be honest with you, man? Like, how do y'all fix that? Like, dang, you was at 20 and talking to your elders too. Like, dang, you at 25 years. Like, what worked? Like, what didn't work? 25. Like, do I really want to be with this person? Because if I do, then I'm gonna be thinking like that. Like, dang, so I just met someone 50 years with his wife, and he said it's just the little things. It's just the little things. So.
And Daniel, I know you brought up something. I almost said David. Shout out to your brother.
Yeah, it's all good.
But like with us talking about relationships and everything, I think it's also not to say that you should build your business around your relationship, but as you build yourself and you build your business, I feel like that unlocks the relationship to another level to see if she really supports you and what you're trying to become.
Yeah.
Because most people say like when you start going after your dreams, your goals, and everything you aspire to be and a person who you want to become, like I feel like a woman says she may want to be with you through that, but when she sees how much time, effort that it takes to do that, she may not be willing to sacrifice with you. So you also have to be, I feel like going after what you truly want to do in life will also unlock to see if that person is really willing to fight with you to go through that. Because it's a sacrifice, you know what I mean? Like, you know, as far as like you may not be able to go on all the expensive dates that you've been accustomed to going on to because you know that I have to make this sacrifice for my business. Like the time that I'm spending out with you, I need to be putting that into my business, or the money that I will be spending here, I have to put into this, and she has to be willing to sacrifice with you. So I feel like that helps with your relationship too. So you know that when you're going after what you want, if she isn't willing to do that with you, then that means she's falling off your track, and then you can move on to keep developing yourself until you meet that person who's willing to fight with you to go to the next level too.
Right, man. That's very important. Like that's very important. And I'm glad that you elaborated on that, because I feel like having a significant other is great, but at this point in your life, if they're not a solid support system, then you really just have them as a liability.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like right now in life, it is no time to have any additional liabilities than, because the world is already going to throw you enough problems as is. And I feel like relationships are great, but some people just use them like toys. You know, some people treat relationships, you know, they're in and out of relationships. They don't even love themselves properly. And I feel like you can't love someone else if you don't love yourself. Like you have to really, like people hear that in songs over and over. It's so many songs about, oh, love yourself, da-da-da. People will sing songs about loving themselves. But people, what I found out, people really don't love themselves. And I feel like that's why in this generation it's so hard to give love, because they don't know what love really is. They haven't really loved the first person that they're supposed to love, which is themselves. And I feel like that's why it's so much just hurt going on and just going around, because people don't really know how to be that, you know? And I feel like even with men and as men, it's hard for us to sometimes find love in the right way, because personally, I feel like women don't really want to be with you until you at the finish line. You know what I'm saying? Like very, you know, people will say that they're riders, but they'll ride for what's convenient. You know, do you really ride? And I ain't talking about like cheating and all that stuff, but like, will you really, like you said, will you really ride with me during the tough times? Hey, baby, I got to cut back. Like, I can't go out as much as, you know, we've been going out, because I got to save. I got this coming up. I'm trying to put this down. And it's just like, you know, I feel like a lot of times relationships will really show you what they're made of during those tough times, you know. And they're definitely going to arise. You know what I'm saying? That you can't escape that part in relationships. Like, you're going to go through some type of turmoil. You're going to go through some type of like hard time. But are you going to be there with me trying to build the success? Yeah. You know? And I feel like now we have such, I don't know if it's the celebrities that are influencing, but I just feel like even in the songs, you know, Birkin, like, girl, you can't buy a Birkin yourself.
They got the little bitty Birkin.
You got the little bitty. They don't. The discount mall done got them right with that one. But I just feel like, man, it's just important to know yourself. It's important to love yourself. And I mean, that topic can go on for forever and a day. But you know, it's just about keeping your morale boosted. And so, how do y'all keep y'all morales boosted? You know, like with everything going on, what helps you stay up and stay sane?
This,
like,
yeah, not even playing, bro.
Yeah.
It's like I understand. I do understand COVID and needing to be 6 feet away and everything. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, historically, we are a communal people. Mm-hmm. Like, we need community. Yeah. We need to talk. We need dialogue. For me, I need some other brothers, sisters, whoever, that's actually about some uplifting stuff all the time, consistently. Because with my brother Jalen, who actually runs the book club with me, we weren't thinking the same way we were today a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years. We was actually supposed to be roommates at UGA together. Mm-hmm. But when we talk about where our mindsets at that time, when we actually were about to be roommates, all we would have been doing was drinking, partying, smoking. Like, we wouldn't have been, not exactly what we are today. Right. Like, always thinking about thriving. And we actually appreciate one another, because when we bounced our ideas, we were reading different books. We brought different information to one another. It was like, oh, dang, yeah. And, you know, kind of like how you cross-reference. Like, if you doing research, you cross-reference stuff to make sure you exact. Well, it's kind of like when we talk to one another, we cross-referencing our experiences. We cross-referencing, like, our lives to make sure that we on the same page. Again, like, we got codes. We just need to start clarifying, like, what is our codes together? Yeah. Like, how exactly do we move with one another? Because for me, anytime I have, man, waking up early this morning, coming to this, man, this energy, man, I was sleepy on the way here, but now that I'm with other people and we talking about something that's getting us moving, thinking, then I'm good now. Like, it started off my day right. I missed my affirmation, but now I'm about to go home and say it again. I'm like, good. Like, I know my day is good now. Yeah. So.
Hey man, I'm glad you had that energy and you feel that same way. I felt the same way. I was like, man, getting up this morning, but then as soon as I seen y'all walk through the door. I was like, oh yeah, it's about to get alive. You know, we better have some good content. We better have some good conversation. And it's just been so easy to flow with y'all, you know. And I feel you on that. Like, I need stuff like this too because you know you just have to be able to talk. You know what I'm saying? Some people call things venting, but I feel like guys, it's harder for us because you know by nature we're supposed to be workers. We're supposed to be on our purpose. So it's harder for us to kind of just sit down and really take a moment to like just catch up. You know, girls talk all the time. Like that's just natural. They're gonna talk. But you know, as a guy, like even with myself, like I don't really talk to my homeboys as much as I should. Yeah. You know, I'm not saying that every conversation we gotta talk for hours, but within me, I gotta do better with just checking in on my bros. Hey man, how you doing? Where you going in life? You know what you know, still it's checking them in a way of accountability. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to be somebody's dad or anything like that. And I feel like that going back to like the touchy topics, you know what I'm saying? I feel like maybe even kind of checking in with each other, you know, checking each other is still kind of like touchy because you don't want to be like, man, you see, oh, there go DJ calling me. He gonna be on some positive, like what you doing with your life now, bro? But for real, like that's important and we should feel that, but in the right way, you know, because anybody who's connected to me, I want to uplift them. When they see my name, when they see me, I want them to be like, oh, what he talking about today? But positive, you know, and I feel like you have to attach that positiveness to yourself. And once you truly become positive, it radiates. You know, I feel like it's one of those things that radiate, you know. And so that's how I pretty much want to keep it and just keep moving.
I like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Anything you want to say, JD? Yeah,
you said what keeps us more
uplifted, you know, go on,
Man, what keeps us going, and like I said, conversations like this and just, you know, just the urge to get better, man, it's like it becomes an obsession. It becomes an addiction. That's like, real. Man, I woke up this morning, you know, I'm making my protein shake, getting ready, you know what I'm saying? I'm listening to motivation in the morning and I'm getting this fuel and I'm like, man, today's another challenge, you know what I mean? Like I worked out hard yesterday and I'm like, man, I got to work out again today. But today I got to push myself even harder than I did yesterday. Yesterday, you know, I think I read, like 3 or 4 pages. I said, dang, today, man, I got to read 10 pages. You know what I mean? Like yesterday I listened to probably like 3 or 4 podcasts. Dang, today I got to listen to 5 podcasts. Just that urge to get better, just knowing that you're working towards something. And what I like about it is like this setting right here, like the more and more you work towards your future and what you want to become, you just naturally start, you know, bringing more people alike together. Like, dang, we still friends after a long time. I just met Zach. Conversation going great. I love his mindset, his spirit, his energy, and everything like that.
Likewise, bro.
Appreciate that. It's just that urge just to get better, to do better and do more and to become more. And that really keeps you going. It's just fuel. It's just energy. And the more and more that you're doing, like you're achieving your goals and like you're gonna come to an abundant place and just love where you at. And then when you get to that place, you've given back so much on the journey. You can give back even more. And just like you said in the topics, like the men in the future, and like we really are the men in the future. Cause like Zach said earlier, like how we talked about standards, like not only are we creating those standards for ourselves, we're creating those standards for people around us. Like I'm learning from you, y'all learning, we all learning from each other. And then on top of that, when we get to where we're going, we're going to be able to help the next group of men, the next group of women, the next group of families, the next group of young entrepreneurs. So it's like we're really just helping everybody, but by us, like helping ourselves. And that's where it really starts at. So that what really keeps me going.
That's important, man. I'm glad you said that. And advancement is important. Anything else y'all want to say? We're going to wrap the show on up. Anything else y'all just want to drop or just say out right quick?
All right, so for me, man, all I want to do is thank the source. God created the universe. I want to thank my ancestors because I know without y'all I wouldn't be here. The ones that made it on the ship, the ones that didn't make it on the ship over here. Like, shout out to all of y'all. And thank y'all right here because, again, like I said, bro, this energy right here, I like this.
Yeah, man, for sure. What about you, Justin? Anything you want to say?
Man, I just want to say thank you all for having me on the show. You know, thank you to the family. You know, I'm definitely not here by myself. Definitely have learned from everybody that I can to be where I'm at today. And I'm just thankful for everybody who support me, everybody who love me, and the people who don't, because that's fuel to the fire too. So I just want to thank everybody, and I'm just truly thankful and grateful. I truly appreciate it.
Right. Well, I appreciate y'all fellas for being on the show. Y'all want to give y'all handles right quick?
All right. Hey, at the Black Academic, DA Black Academic, check us out in the book club so that we can actually bounce ideas off of each other and continue to develop with one another.
Okay.
And you can follow me on Instagram at I Am Spread the Word, and in my link in my bio, I got the link tree to the links to the other social media. So at I am Spread the Word.
And y'all know this is the Verified Vibe. You've officially been verified, and you can follow me at SAY_GO DJ. It's your boy DJ, and we're doing it big every day. We living well, we living right. 3 positive brothers with me today. I thank y'all for y'all time. Love y'all. Much love to y'all, and thank y'all for the viewings.
So.